What is going on, guys? It's Modded Warfare here. Welcome back to another PS4 tutorial. So we have a brand new jailbreak that's been released in the past 2 days or 1 day, something like that. So 4.55, there's now a full jailbreak for firmware version 4.55, not to be confused with the jailbreak we've been using up till now. All the previous videos have been for 4.05. So this is 4.55, it's a newer firmware, and you know, having a jailbreak on a newer firmware is great. You definitely want to be on the newest firmware possible for whatever jailbreaks out, because obviously you have new features, you can run newer games on newer firmware, and there's also a higher chance of eventually being able to get online if you're on a newer firmware. But you know, that's not really on the cards at this point. So yeah, and also there's also been a WebKit released for I think 5.01, 02, 05, something like that. That's not a full jailbreak, at least not yet. It may turn into a full jailbreak, and I will cover that if it does. But as of right now, that's just a WebKit. It's an entry point. There's not a full jailbreak released for that yet. But there is a full jailbreak for 4.55. So in this video, I'm going to be updating my 4.05 console to 4.55 and show you how to get the jailbreak set up on firmware version 4.55. So if you are on 4.05 and you're wondering, should I update to 4.55, just bear in mind that not everything's been ported over from 4.05 to 4.55 yet. However, the homebrew enabler to allow you to play free games and PlayStation 2 games, apparently that's been ported over, and we'll test that at the end of this video once we have the jailbreak set up. And yeah, I think there's a COD 4 menu that's been ported over already, so things are moving pretty fast. So you know, it's up to you whether you want to update or not. You might want to leave it a week or so until everything's been ported over to 4.55. But yeah, anyway, let's get on with this. Let's get things done. So first thing I'm going to do here is obviously get the firmware installed. So before you start with any jailbreak, make sure you go to settings, check the firmware that you're currently on by going into system and then system information. So you can see I'm on version 4.05. As long as you are below firmware version 4.55, then you'll be able to do you'll be able to get the firmware version installed. If you've updated past 4.55, then unfortunately you'll have to wait for a newer jailbreak. So as long as you're below 4.55, you're good. So another thing you want to do is head into automatic downloads and make sure system software update files is unchecked. Very important, because that will prevent software updates from automatically being installed from PSN if you connect to PSN. And another thing you might want to do as well, just to be extra safe, if you go into your network settings and uncheck the connect to internet option, which will 100% prevent you from accidentally downloading the latest firmware from PSN. Alright, so that's everything we have to set up there on the PS4. Let's head over to the PC. So on the PC, all you need to do is get the update file. So we need version 4.55, which is right here. And I'll link this in the description, sce.party. You just head to resources, firmwares, it's got them all listed here. You just click 4.55 and download it, as I've already done here. Alternatively, you can also go to this link here on PS4 Dev Wiki, 4.55, download is right here, same exact file, except with this one you'll need to rename it to PS4 Update in uppercase. Alright, so once you download the update file like I have here, what you're going to want to do is put that on a USB. So what you want to do is get a USB stick. Make sure, if you right click and go to properties, make sure it's exFAT format or FAT32. FAT32 will work as well. Just make sure it's not NTFS, because if it's NTFS or whatever the iOS format is, I can't remember, it will not be detected by the PS4, so it needs to be exFAT or FAT32. So then what you want to do is just go into your USB stick, create a folder called PS4 in uppercase characters, and then in that folder you want to create another folder called update, also in uppercase characters. And then in that folder, you want to just drag the update file you downloaded into that folder. And that will copy that over. So make sure, like I said before, that it's called PS4 update.pup. So if you downloaded the one from PS4 Dev Wiki, which is called like 4.55 retail or something like that, rename it to PS4 update. Okay, so here we go. So now that you've done that, all you want to do is unplug your USB stick and plug it into the PS4. Okay, so once you've plugged it into the PS4, what you want to do is go ahead and scroll over to settings again. And you want to go down to System Software Update. And there you go. It says the following version of the system software is available, 4.55. Make sure it's definitely that version. I hope it does. So System Software Update, 4.55 is available. Next, update. Okay guys, this is it. So I have updated to 4.55. Just skip all of this. Okay, so we're on 4.55. It should say in the top left. There you go. System software 4.55 update file installed. So there we go. We are definitely on 4.55. Let's just make 100% sure. System info 4.55. We are good. Alright, so now let's get the jailbreak set up. So first of all, we need to access the internet browser. We can't because we need to be signed into PSN. To fix that, you can use the user guide, and as you can see, the user guide gives you a web page. Currently can't resolve host, but oh, yeah, I'm not connected to the internet right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to select connect to internet. We're going to set up an internet connection. We're going to use either Wi-Fi or LAN, whichever you prefer. I hear there's an issue with the exploit with Wi-Fi. I'm not sure if that's fixed or not yet. Hopefully by the time you're watching this it will be. So just choose whichever way you're connecting to the internet. So then choose custom, not easy. We're going to do automatic IP. Do not specify host name. Select manual DNS, and there's two DNS servers we want to put in here. So this one here is the same one I use for 4.05, but the person who made it is also including the 4.55 payloads in it as well. So definitely add this DNS. So 108.61.128.158. And then for your secondary, this guy actually has two servers that are hosting the same thing. So it's good to have both added, because that way if one of the servers goes down, it'll fall back on the other server and use that one instead. So 165.227.145. Alright, so pop those DNSs in there. I'll put them in the description. And then automatic for everything else. Internet settings have been updated. And then just view connection status. Well, my IP address has changed. That's interesting. Okay, so we should be good. So now if I go to user guide, might take a little while here. Oh, nope, there you go. Goes on straight away. So I'm not a big fan of the way he's laid this out. I'm a big fan of him setting up this DNS in the first place. It's incredibly useful. But I'm not a big fan of the way he's set this up, because he's got 4.05 payloads mixed in with 4.55 payloads, which is a bit confusing. Holy Grail is a 4.55, and then this one's a 4.55. And I think, you know, these are 4.05, Spectre's 4.05, IDC's 4.05. These, I think, are also 4.05. They might be 4.55. I don't know. I think they're 4.05 though. So yeah, it's a bit confusing, but I'm going to show you another one that's a bit better afterwards. We're just using this one right now to block the, I think it blocks the PS4 updates, and it also lets us go straight to here on the user guide so that we can access this initially. Yeah, so what we need to do is we need to inject the web browser payload. Okay guys, so what you're going to want to do now is download enable web browser for 4.55. So this is going to patch the web browser and allow us to use the web browser when we're not signed into PSN. So then I'm going to use Netcat GUI. Now you can use any payload injector that allows you to change the port number. So if you have PS4 AIO, you can use that to inject the payload. Just select 4.05 even though you're doing a 4.55 payload, because I assume they use the same port. I hope they do, otherwise I'm going to have to look up what port it uses. So type in your PS4's IP. Oh, it's 86, I am wrong. There we go. Okay, so 137.86. And then on the PS4, of course, we're going to stay on our WebKit and we are going to select 4.55. See what happens here. Not enough free system memory. Now, I am told that that's quite common. There we go. So now it says you're all set. So all we do now is, what you want to do is get your enable web browser 4.55. Make sure it is the 4.55 version, not the 4.05 version. And drag that into your payload path or browse for it. Make sure you change the port number to 9020. So that's all you want. Your PS4's IP, you want your web browser patch payload added as a path in here, and you want 9020 as the port. Then you can inject the payload. Nothing should happen on the PS4, as you can see. Everything is fine so far. So the web browser patch is very small. It pretty much patches instantly. So as soon as you've injected it, you can close window, back out to the main menu, run the internet browser, and boom, the internet browser now works. So at this stage, what I recommend doing is going back on the user guide and adding this address into your web browser so you can access this page from your web browser in future. So it's manuals.playstation.net/document. Now I'm in the United Kingdom, so it's GB for Great Britain /PS4/index.html. Yours might be different if you're in a different country, so note down your link that shows up in here. So document GB PS4 index. Document GB PS4 index. Document GB PS4 index. Just try and remember that. Okay. Yep, that worked. There we go. So then what we can do is we can add that as a bookmark. And now we can access it whenever we want from in here. So every time we want to use the WebKit exploit, we can just head to the internet browser and load it up straight from here. Now, like I said before, this is not great the way he's set this up, because, you know, the 4.55 payloads are mixed with the 4.05 payloads. He'll probably fix that. As if AI, as if whatever his name is, I'm definitely butchering that name. But yeah, he'll probably fix that in the future. However, there's another site you can go to which is less confusing right now, which is also made by the same guy in collaboration with Lightning Mods, I think. And that website, if I can get it up on... Okay, I found it. So the website we want is so HTTP... So HTTPS or HTTP? HTTP. So http:// PS4. So PS4 exploits dot and then dark software xyz, however you like to pronounce that, and then / index. Well, in fact, you don't even need to do the / index. If you just do / it should find it anyway. There you go. And then we can go ahead and add this to a bookmark as well. So now we have two sites we can go to. Now the reason this one's obviously easier is because it has the button for what firmware you're on. So if you're on 4.55, you just select 4.55, and then you know that everything in here, all the payloads that are here, and there'll be more added at some point, but all the ones in here will be for 4.55. And then if you're on 4.05, then you just select 4.05, and these are all the payloads for 4.05. So it's a bit more organized than the other one. But we have to use the other one initially because, you know, that's the one where we can put our DNS in, and it'll change manuals.playstation.net so we can access it from the user guide at first, which is what we need to do initially, so that we can install the web browser patch. But once we have the web browser patch installed, like we do now, we can start using other sites that are a bit more organized like this. But I'm pretty sure that this one will be updated fairly soon with the same thing, so that you can select 4.05 or 4.55 and they're not mixed together like this one. Okay, so just to show you that that like the homebrew enabler works and stuff on 4.55, we're going to head back into one of our exploits. We'll go to 4.55, and then hen is the one we want. Now it's called hen on this version. It's called what's it called on this one? Holy Grail is what it's called on this one. I think they're the same thing. My bad if I'm wrong, but I think they're similar if not the same. So here we go. You're all set. So when it says you're all set, we can go and close and go to settings. Should have the debug settings showing up. We can go to game, package installer, and I'm going to install PT, which I just put that on the USB because it's a fairly small package file. I'm not going to install like a whole game like Dying Light, which is like 12 gigabytes. I just don't have time for that right now. Don't see why it wouldn't, especially if this works. Then the PS2 emulator game should work on 4.55 as well. So let's just have a quick check. PT, it's not locked. Yeah, it's running. So yeah, the homebrew enabler does work on 4.55. Yeah, so there we go. The game is running, as you can see. So everything should... So yeah, free games work. PS2 games should work, I think. There might be some tweaks that need to be made to the emulator. I don't think there will be, but I didn't make the emulator. I wasn't involved in anything like that, so I have no idea. So don't take my word for it, but theoretically, the PS2 emulation should work. And obviously, the only thing we're really waiting for is like RTE mods, so like an RTE API updated for 4.05. And maybe, I don't think any of the GTA menus have been ported yet, but I know that one of the COD 4 menus was ported, so probably won't be very long, maybe a few days to wait for that as well. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. So anyway, that is how you do it. That's how you fully jailbreak your 4.55 PS4, or how to get a PS4 updated to 4.55 and jailbroken. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one.